Good afternoon and welcome to the Real Talk Show. I am one half of this awesome team as Kim gets surprised by sounds coming from her phone. I am King Arthur.
And I am Kimberly Anise. Kim, and amazing, that works too. Okay.
And we are here today with, she really could be, you could be like a guest co-host or something, but we don't have a guest for you to interview because you've done this before. This isn't your first rodeo.
Well, do you want me to be a co-host on today? Is that
sure.
what you guys?
Who will we interview though?
Are we going to interview each other?
You could interview me, and then I'll interview you guys, and then we'll go and tag team with our producers in the back. What do you think?
Boom.
Maybe?
Boom.
Let's do it. V,
Boom.
we're going to do something different that's never been done before, and we don't even know what we're doing. How about that? And I am paying attention just for those of you who think that I'm over here texting or whatever the case may be. I'm just making sure I tag everyone in the post.
So does that give me permission to make sure that I put it on my phone the
Yeah,
right way?
you're good.
Okay, I'm going to do it under the table and look discreet.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Why is V not coming up? I don't know.
This is what not to do on the radio show. This is what you don't
The
do.
Real Talk Show today, family.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Doesn't get any better than this.
For watching.
Oh, gosh. I can't with y'all.
It won't let me tag you, V. What did you do? Am I
I
blocked?
guess I got my block game is strong.
I see that. I see that. Y'all got like,
Stronger than mine.
I know. Kim's page
Left and right.
is like, there we go. Bam. Kim's page is stalker proof. Bang. Now I got you hooked up.
I've had some issues.
No more bad experiences. I'm blocking everyone.
Yeah, I've had some. Yeah, I actually had a stalker one time.
Really?
Literally. Like,
That's not cool.
Like,
it's so not cool. Like texting me, like really like lips, kissy lips, and yeah.
just out of the blue, just kissy
Out
lips.
of the blue, kissy lips, and like, cause
Wow.
I went to visit this spot. You know, I like to do different stuff.
Right.
Natural detox place or something. You know, come in there all happy. Hey, I'm Kim. I guess the homeboy said, hey, I'm gonna
Like
get your number.
she's feeling me. She loves me. She's friendly.
Yes, straight. Then sending me pictures of
I know.
Hi.
of a house, like a abandoned looking house. It was scary
A
for a minute.
creepy house.
Yeah.
What month of the year was this? Was it October?
This went on for some time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I had to threaten.
Like it wasn't like a
police.
Halloween joke or nothing.
No.
No. Wow.
So stalker block, Facebook, stalker block, cell phone, stalker block,
Oh, you had
business
all of
page,
it. So
stalker block. Yeah.
That's serious.
wow.
Yeah, we're gonna erase
You
all
met
that
them in
negative.
person. It's something different when you meet people. On
Well, I don't know
the-
who it is.
Oh, you know?
It was somebody that worked there.
Wow.
I don't know. But we're going to erase all that negative energy. I'm fine.
Wow. It's not negative energy. I'm just like, wow.
People, the various stalkers and how to not catch a stalker.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I caught a stalker.
You walk in and say,
know.
hey, how you doing? What's up? Ooh, she wants me. You know, it's like, how did you get that out of that? I'm
So maybe I should
speaking.
be mean.
Walk in like, hey,
I think you should be.
I'm here for this whole life, whatever, detox. And I'm not smiling.
You know, we focus a lot of our time. Wow.
Go ahead. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say we focus a lot of our time and energy on the victim versus the person that's causing the havoc. In our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
He needs a counselor.
So, yeah, we need lessons.
Yes.
I think there's a how to not be a stalker class.
I think everybody's looking for love.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people just, mental health is for real. That's
Yes.
serious.
Yeah.
That's a serious situation.
Yeah.
Mental
Maybe he
health.
didn't know. Like, it's like that dude who buys you a drink at the club and y'all in a serious relationship at that point. You know, like it happens. We go together for real.
We go together.
Get your hands off my woman. Like, what is wrong with you? This fool just bought me a drink.
But you know what? That is some truth in that. Like literally, I stopped letting people don't buy me nothing.
I'm good.
I'm
We
good.
don't want anyone to come back and try to stab us either.
Yeah. He's like,
That's true.
yeah.
That's scary.
It happens. I'm telling you.
He's mine.
I spent
Why
all
you
this
talking
money.
to my man? Oh, thank you. I'm not interested.
I spent that $6.99 on that drink.
I know. Know how much these drinks cost up in the club? We go together.
Oh my God. It's funny because it's true.
Wow.
Okay? That's
Yes.
scary.
It is scary.
Whew. We have somebody amazing today.
Absolutely.
You gonna interview her, or we're gonna interview her together?
We're going to interview her together because
Together.
I'm just saying, I got a Facebook instant message that was like a sneak peek of a chapter 1 of something about a masterpiece or something. And I normally just click on the stuff and then I'm just like, all right, whatever. Yeah, it's a chain thing. But I listened to it and I was like, wow. And when the 6 minutes or however long it was, once it was up, I was like, well, what happened? It's like, like she just left me hanging. I was like, oh, wow, what's going to happen next? But it was only like chapter 1 or a sneak
Oh
peek.
wow.
So I was like, B, you should come on the show.
Yeah. Just your name, that whole
V
your
Speak
brand,
Life.
your name,
Oh,
V
you
Speaks.
guys making me feel super dope and amazing right now. I feel like
We're going to have to.
I need sprinkles. You know what? I think. Well, I don't think confetti is allowed in the studio.
No. Nat, can we throw?
No
Confetti is banned from the
Cannot
studio.
have confetti, but that would have been. Hey, what about bubbles?
I
You can
have bubbles.
You
Yes.
can have a bubble machine,
Yeah.
but then you have to be careful with the camera and
Yeah.
whatnot.
'Cause,
I
you know,
travel with
pop.
bubbles.
So go get them.
They're in the car.
She travels with a
No,
bubble
seriously.
machine.
Seriously.
Why?
Why do I travel with bubbles? I travel with bubbles, I travel with marbles, and I travel with pennies. So I travel with raisins sometimes. So my marbles I give them to people in case sometimes you lose your marbles, right? So I always have one to replace it because sometimes people will just kind of take you there sometimes. So, you got to have some
A lot of
marbles.
people who have lost.
Yeah, they'll lose marbles.
I'd be
I
out.
lost a couple of marbles. Can I have one?
Yeah. And then I carry raisins because sometimes in life, your spirit needs raisin. And you need that. And I carry my bubbles because sometimes you just have to learn how to blow your worries away and just know everything's going to be okay.
I like that.
And then my pennies. Now, we all going to relate to this.
Okay, come on with it.
Sometimes you got to have those pennies and put them out on the table because sometimes you feel like you're the only one in the room with some sense.
Bam. Wow. I never used the bell before.
Mics, I'm not paid for it.
No.
That
Wow.
was really good. That was really good. Marbles, pennies,
Raisins.
Raisins and some bubbles.
and bubbles.
If
And
you had a
Tootsie Roll.
bubble machine, I'd be.
Sometimes
I'd be distracted. I'd be over here like, woo. I'd be popping bubbles. Y'all be interviewing. He's like, something is wrong with
Hold
him.
it down for just like
No.
2 seconds, please. You're distracted. Focus.
Ooh, bubbles, bubbles. I'd be like the kid chasing the ice cream truck or something, and
With the
bubbles came flying by.
It creates an atmosphere of just like, who's that? Oh, the Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah,
Because
what's the
sometimes you gotta let some stuff roll off your back. You can't give everything your attention. You know what I mean? Things happen. So I get the Tootsie Rolls
That's
out.
like
let it
tweetable.
let it roll off your back.
I'm about to tweet
Yeah,
that
I
at this
thought you were
moment.
going to, do the song
Tootsie
and
Roll.
talk about butterflies.
Tootsie
and
Rolls,
Tootsie
Tootsie Rolls.
Exactly.
Which song are you talking
Butterflies
about?
and Tootsie
Yeah.
Butterfly, that's old.
Let me see. There you go.
No,
Be the
no.
69 boy for real. Get down and can't get back up. Be like, somebody help me back up.
Now I gotta
please."
I got to go to a job in the morning.
Be like, Kimberly was on the radio.
Tootsie rolling.
But I like that. Let things roll off your back sometimes.
Ooh, girl. Yes.
I love it.
That's nice.
Wow.
Those little life tidbits that we need to carry us through the day. I like that.
Yeah.
But see, I would probably remember after I've acted out, though. I think the purpose is to like, okay, think cents, think your pennies, think raisins, think marbles. I'd be like, ah! And then I'd be like, oh, I should have gave him a marble.
And make it a game because you don't want to lose your marbles. So how many marbles do you have? You start out the day with like 10. How many do you have? You keep a bag of them? Like, what's going on?
Well,
Do
it's
you
not
have-
just for me. It's for other folks.
Okay. And so what about the bubbles? Do you pass them out?
I do.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Sometimes you do. You got to blow.
Has anyone
words
ever
when you
taken
like-
offense to it?
Like,
No.
That's good. That's good.
in the middle of them talking, just dip the bubble thing in and start.
You know, some people need this on for work to prepare themselves for the week.
Yes.
For their work week. So just on a Sunday evening, go outside and blow some
Yeah,
bubbles.
just blow bubbles.
It's kind of cold.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, especially today.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we're getting over 40 today.
Oh, yeah.
Is it gonna snow?
That's what I'm concerned about.
I was joking with someone that earlier, right? I was joking with someone like, man, you crazy, it's not gonna snow. So I was on my Facebook news feed and I see one of my Facebook friends and it's like pouring down. Like snow though. Snow everywhere. So
Where were they?
I'm like, wow, she must be in Minnesota somewhere.
Right.
And so I said, well, let me read through the comments so I can confirm that it's somewhere north, like maybe Great Lakes. And someone posed, girl, it's snowing where you are? She said, yes, North Carolina. It's like, what?
In North Carolina?
Crazy.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
you know, the news reports all week have been saying
We're gonna get
rain, the floods,
Yeah.
and possible snow. And I'm like, whatever, that stuff's not going anywhere near Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. And then I see a picture of her playing in the snow.
Yeah.
Like,
So
this is crazy.
It's got me a little nervous. But I'm keep staring at your book because I am so interested in learning about this masterpiece. So what was your
Shifted masterpiece.
inspiration?
And there's a butterfly.
I love butterflies.
So we have butterflies
There's
and we
something
have
about
Tootsie
butterflies.
Rolls
Yeah,
in the
butterflies.
same show.
Well,
Yeah,
with
that's what
with
we need, a
butterflies,
stand.
You know, King Arthur shared that he listened to chapter 1, so I did a voice recording or voiceover of the chapter, and the book is actually
Was that your voice?
It was.
I'm gonna have to get your voice on my voicemail.
Okay.
I was like, wow.
I'm
Who
just
did
gonna-
she get to read this?
Practice. You know, I was.
This is when I tap out. I'll just ignore this. What?
I was like, hello, you've reached King Arthur's voicemail.
What?
Well, that would be fun.
Pretending I'm reading.
Go back. So I got you. So
Okay.
you did the voiceover.
Yeah, I did a voiceover just to get. This is my first book as a freshman author, and wanting to promote the book a little more, I decided to do the first chapter to give people visuals. You know, you're always trying to think outside of the box. That's one thing as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as an author, as for your shows, anything that you're wanting to do, we have to really think outside of the box and be a little more creative, because when you turn on the Facebook, you're going to see a flood. I see a flood of videos now. So everyone's doing a video, or everyone has a book. Everyone's doing something. So you have to do, what can you do to stand out from the rest of the crowd? And that's just something you just have to kind of think, okay, well, everyone's doing this. It's like the stock market. When everyone is running to purchase, you go ahead and run away and you start selling. You know, the goal is to buy low and sell high.
Bang.
So everyone understands. So when people are flooding one situation, you kind of find another way to make yourself stand out from the crowd. With the cover,
I love that.
Thank you. With the cover, I had everything was self done. So I'm the author, the illustrator, the editor. I did everything on my own with this book. It's first time book. I'm like, I see everyone doing it. I went to Google University to learn.
Come on,
It was free. free.
Yes,
So
free is
you
always
see
good.
Free is always good, but you educate yourself. So there is no way for you not to understand and know different things. You can learn anything you want to in life, and that's why I try to teach our young people just to go after whatever, if it's formal education or not. Learn something, educate yourself. You can learn something new every day, and you learn from others. So shows like the Real Talk Show and some other awesome and amazing shows that we have here at Status Network, we can learn from each other and use this platform to teach and make our community something that people want to actually, I want to be in that community. You know, people really want to be more like us and pull us back in. So with the book, it's my personal story. I share a story of domestic violence and my personal experience with it, how I got into it and how I got out. Most of it is on the latter, and I share some story of the actual struggles, but I tried to do a better job at explaining what happens in the afterlife. So I have a nonprofit organization. It's the same name. It's Shifted Masterpiece Incorporated. We're 501c3 approved organization, and we serve and support domestic violence survivors and at-risk youth.
Amazing.
The job there.
So the purple was on purpose.
Purple was on. You know something? Everything that you see here on the cover is strategic.
I like that.
From the title to the cover itself, it's all strategic. So if you look at the background, it looks broken,
right?
Like broken, and so that's just puzzle pieces. And so what we wanted to do is pick up the puzzle pieces, pick it all up, and put the puzzle back together again. The term shifted means changed. That's where the butterfly comes in. Butterflies go through metamorphosis, and it's all about transformation, all about restructure, all about seeing how the caterpillar turns from one thing. And there's the saying, just as a caterpillar thought the world was ending, it became a butterfly. And it's a whole new world, a whole new life. So it's there on purpose. So yeah, everything.
October was a big month for you then.
October, yes.
Wow.
Domestic Violence Awareness
Month.
That's right. That's our big month. Some people say that for domestic violence survivors, that's like the Super Bowl month,
right?
Super Bowl period, because you're gaining a lot of attention from people are watching, and that's when you'll have a big audience. But after Domestic Violence Awareness Month is over, we have to keep that momentum going.
Not just 1 month out of the year.
Exactly. Yeah. So what Shifted Masterpiece does for that purpose, or one of the things that we do, we host open mics.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a good time, honey. We host open mic every first Saturday in Lilburn, Georgia, at Taste of Paradise. It's a Jamaican restaurant. And
I am coming.
We have a great time. We have Atlanta's fashion police, Miss Queen May, on the scene. So she's going to come and do the red carpet for you and make sure you can actually get in based on your outfit. Wow. We have DJ Q on the ones and twos, doing it up for us. And then we have our amazing local artists to come and share and uplift the audience with their spoken word. Right. They do song. And I'm going to tell you, we sleep on our local talent. Right. We sleep on our local talent. But if anyone is listening, your audience members are listening, and they're an artist, they have a new song they want to try it, hadn't tried it out, not quite sure.
Be able to sing.
Open mic is the perfect place to come and try new music. But we do it for domestic violence awareness. So every month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month for us.
I like that.
At our open mics. It's not all about domestic violence. Of course, the only time we talk about it is when I get up to introduce myself, and if we have a strong following of other survivors that'll come out, and it's therapeutic for them. Yes. So they have an opportunity to use their voices in a poetic way, a musical way to express themselves, and that's what we do. We only have one censor, and that's to refrain from sexually explicit material in your poetry and also through song. And the reason we do that is because so many women have been abused and attacked and raped by their husbands. So sex is a sensitive subject, so we want to make sure. And then, of course, we try to keep it family friendly because it's in a restaurant, and you have kids.
You get up there like
beep,
beep, beep, beep, beep,
it's
beep.
a beep, the bleep, bleep all night long. So we want to just enjoy the show. But it's a great, great time.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So how did the name SpeakLife come about?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great question. So I was on Facebook back in 2009 when I guess it was Facebook was created sometime before then, but I joined in 2009. And somewhere along the way, it just became noisy to me.
Yeah.
Just noisy and negative, and people airing this dirty laundry, or they're fighting on bullying each other.
I'm leaving my husband today.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
what? Why? Why? Who do I care to know that?
Are you telling me?
I totally unfriend those. What I do, I unfollow. If I see something, I just like to keep my stream, my vibe, and my energy right.
Yeah.
So if I see those kinds of posts
That
coming
craziness.
from somebody I'm
That's
friends with,
smart.
I will unfollow you. And if it's too much, I will just politely unfriend you.
Yeah.
And then you'll notice that when you try to find my post.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't seen anything positive from you lately.
Yeah.
I don't know if that feature was available.
It might not have
back
been.
during that time.
Well, you can
but
unfollow.
I quit. I quit Facebook. I was just over it. I wasn't on Instagram or I had an Instagram and I had a Twitter, but I wasn't on there. Didn't have anything to say. I was a stalker. I used to stalk other people's pages. I didn't have anything to say. I would just kind of go and observe. And now I understand the mindset of people like, hey, they're not liking my posts. But I get it. It's because they don't want to be seen. It's like they want their own world. And that was me as well. But I quit Facebook and whatever other social media was available at the time. But then someone asked me if I could go on their post. It was a business, and say, hey, can you please go on Facebook and like our page? And I was like, oh, I don't have Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but I really wanted to like the post. They had a picture of my son. He was going to be like the patient of the day or something like that, or customer of the day. And I said, oh, that'd be cool. Let me go ahead and get back on here. So when I decided to come back, I'm like, okay, well, I don't really want anyone to know that I'm here.
So
can I come in quietly? Can I create? Yeah, I didn't want to use my government name because, everybody don't need to know what I'm doing. Keep it on the low. So I coupled that with just all the negativity. And I don't know if you remember this movie called, is it Get Out? No, not Get Out. It's with the crying. Not that movie. It was the cartoon. It's a cartoon. Out is in it. I can't think of it. What's the name of the cartoon with the little colorful people and they talk about their feelings and stuff?
Family Guy?
No, it's not Family
It's
Guy.
a movie cartoon or a series?
Cartoon movie. I think it's a Disney movie.
Incredibles?
It's not The Incredibles, but there was a character. The little girl played soccer, and she was getting bullied at school, and she had all these thoughts running in her mind, and her mind had different.
You might be the only one on this one.
I'm like, that's all I got for you. Incredibles.
It's a cute little movie. Anyway, the point.
It's a V movie. V has created a movie.
Yeah, I created this movie. But one of the characters in the movie King Arthur was a little kid that was always sad. She was always just so sad. But they needed her. They talked about they had all these different emotions. You're angry. One of them just happy all the time. Just happy, and getting on everybody's nerves. So just too happy. Then one was angry, and they got on everybody's nerves. He was always just too angry and grumpy.
Exactly.
And then they had one that was just sad all the time. She was just like crying, like she was just totally depressed. But what I realized is that they were the emotions of this little girl. And so one day the little girl was crying, or she was really sad. But guess who helped her
Who?
become happy again? It was Sadness. Sadness was one of the characters' names. So Sadness actually went over to massage her, and what she did was speak life into the little girl, and the little girl just kind of woke up and she became revived again.
Wow.
Now, in the middle of this movie, I'm with my family and the kids, and that's how I was supposed to be watching the movie, but I was trying to create the Facebook page at the same time.
Right.
In the movie theater. I was that one person in the theater, but that's how I created the name. I was like,
Awesome.
oh, they spoke
Speak
Life.
Life.
Yeah, that's
I
how
love
it
that.
came out.
And then it kills the negativity.
It kills the
at the
negativity.
same time.
Right.
I like
love
that.
it.
Right. And so some people say speak with an S, so Speaks Life. I mean, I do, and I try to do my best, but it's really more for you two. So it's an action. It's
like
it's a
it.
verb for it. So when I talk, yeah, I want you to speak life as well when we're talking to each other. So that's what that's about.
I
Long
like
story.
it.
You didn't ask
I
me
like
all
it.
of that.
Yes, I did though. It painted the picture so we could understand where the name came from, because I think a lot of people see it and they say, oh, okay, we're going to get this as V's book, but they don't understand what really came behind it, and they don't know that it's a true story. You know, you've taken what most people will use to keep that negativity and keep that sadness and just walk around all day mad at all men are dogs, all men are... That was one dude, you know. Why do we all got to pay for his mistake?
Right.
You know? So
Forgiveness.
Right.
instead of
Forgiveness, that's important.
And
That's
it's just,
key.
like Kim mentioned
key.
earlier, that the forgiveness is not for
Yes.
the other person; it's for you, so you can
Definitely.
release it
Definitely.
and you can move on.
That's right.
I
It's
like that.
really, really important. That's one of the things we try to get other people to realize too. It's like you're holding all that stuff in, it becomes toxic to you.
Toxic health problems.
Yeah, you're
ulcers, all
internalizing
kinds of
all
stuff.
that. Yeah, exactly. So you have to release that somewhere, even if it's just writing it down. But that's why we have the open mics. It's just another way for you to release all of those negative thoughts
gonna
that you
go.
have.
I might
Please
participate.
I want to,
Please
yeah.
Come out
on the
there,
mic.
could be like a Love Jones
on the
type
mic.
thing.
Come
you
on.
know.
I got some old poetry back in the day.
Come through.
Yeah.
We would love to have you. We're actually going to do something for New Year's Eve if you guys aren't doing anything for New Year's Eve. Mostly everybody's at church.
Yeah.
Party.
I was about to come up with something
Yeah,
crazy,
watch
like
night.
say we're gonna Real Talk is gonna be in like Dominican Republic or something. But then you mentioned church, and it's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't tell that lie. You're gonna be at church.
Yeah, watch night service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, even if
I'll be working the parking lot at
You'll
watch
be,
night service.
watch
yeah.
night.
Then I run in and get to work, because my pastor is a firm believer in it doesn't take all day to say anything. So we're going to start promptly at like maybe 10-ish, and it may be even be 9. But we start, we sing some songs, he give us a word, we're out of there by 10:30. You're home safe, or if you want to go do whatever you do, go do whatever you do. But you're done, you're not out at the church, because it's sad that times have come to that you can't really be in the church and count down to midnight and all of that other stuff. But to be on the safe side and make sure the
People
family's
get
home.
safe
Hey,
and all of that.
you're home safe, we're good. Before the drinking and driving starts, you know, not that I know firsthand, I just hear about it on the news, you know.
Yeah.
So,
A lot is happening so frequently now.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is as my grandma said, life is precious. You
Yes.
know?
Yes, it is.
I was going to say, in reference to you getting that name, I love that story because it speaks to the value of sensitizing your spirit to the Holy Spirit. To hear, you know, because that name, what did I tell you when I sat down? I was like, your name
That's the
is
first
like,
thing you said.
yeah, stands
Yeah.
out. That's huge. So I think there's value in telling that story
Thank
and
you
how
for
you came
saying
up
that
with the
to me.
name, because that's that Holy Spirit.
I appreciate you saying
Yeah.
that to me.
and
Yeah.
we did a random Facebook Live before we started, and everything you're saying now is lining up with the stuff we just started out with, just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah,
just
God.
points we
Came
wanted
out of
to make.
nowhere.
Just like boom, like I don't know where that came from. That was pretty prophetic, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we get here, and it came back around full circle, and we're still
Yeah.
talking about that.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff. I like
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yep.
No, it doesn't happen too often.
Good.
So, do you guys incorporate your spirituality into the show?
Actually, yes.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. I think that's how we kind of vibe
Right.
from the beginning.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
I can remember even one of the shows, because I had a bottom line at the end of the show, and Kim had a Mindful Matters, and I forget what our third person had. And
I remember that show. Without you even saying what that show was about.
Yeah.
Because it was dealing with relationships.
Right.
That show.
Right.
And that person was not really into how we were going to roll into the show.
Right.
But I think just adding to that, I'm trying to say it without saying it, as my grandma said, did you hear what I didn't say? So I think she said, did you hear what I didn't say? What I'm not saying is that I think we both have, we both believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ, and we put our Lord and Savior first.
Right.
I think, however, what we bring to the show together is a value in meeting people where they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is. We don't have, like, that's what the real talk is. It's
Right.
like real talk. Hey.
And
This
we can
is-
have the
yeah.
real talk and pull back the layers, peel back the layers of the onion, meet you where you are, and we still can uplift the community.
Yeah.
And
Because we've had
had, I know, and
How
we've
about
had to
that?
kind of recover from some stuff like, okay, moving right along.
Oh wow.
How about that show we did, the HIV show, when we had the nurse?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've done, I mean, we it was HIV awareness or something, AIDS awareness, something we were doing. And
It was X-rated on that.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
they started talking about
like
How do you turn
men coming into the ER and
That was
because it
deep.
got on the homosexuality piece
Okay.
and then them coming in the ER and how they explain themselves with things that have happened, and it's like, okay, I'm over there like la 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 la. Arthur does not want to hear this, you know. But it ended up though being one of our
top view shows.
yeah,
It was
really good, and we actually had a model. I can't remember her name now. I think she models for CVS. I mean, CVS.
Somebody was HIV positive,
Yeah,
right?
she was either HIV positive or because we talked a lot
Or had
about
been exposed.
about the misconceptions
Okay.
and I want to
how you
say
get it, or-
about how you get it, or you know, we were joking because I think we had the nurses on the show, so
Yeah.
I was like, you know, and I always poke fun at my family, right? So it'd be like, oh boy, you got the sugar, you know, and he got full blown AIDS as opposed to just being HIV positive or something like that. But she was a model, and when you see her, because the big misconception is if someone has AIDS or if they're HIV positive, they're sick, they're coughing, they're frail.
Right.
She was
None of those things.
None of them.
She didn't fit the
Absolutely
description.
beautiful, nice shape. And she came on, she shared her story, and she talks about how when she initially came on, she was dating someone in the music industry. All in love with this person. Of course, they're like all over the place. Then she finds out, you know, so she thinks it's the end of her world, and it's like either, I'm thinking 14 years later, may have been something like 8
And she
years
was
later,
still-
but she's still healthy. She's out speaking positivity. She has a book. She has like, she's a model, you know, all kinds of things that, and I'm just like, wow, you know, that like breaks the entire paradigm of AIDS and sick and frail and about to die. So
That was
Right.
that was a good, and the one when you and Cheryl got married and we talked about love. Remember that?
Oh,
That whole-
yeah.
we
I
had that
remember.
who
we had a love show.
we had that love show.
No, not on the show.
No.
We didn't get
That was
married on the
good
show.
about men. You did from the men's point of view, and I
Right.
talked from the woman's point. That was a good
Yeah.
one.
So
what
we
did
just
you
we
talk
just
about?
kind of roll with it, like whatever comes to mind,
I
and
love that.
we just roll with it. Talk about love, relationships.
Yeah,
you know?
that was a good.
Like,
that was a good one.
yeah.
That one. I'm trying to think.
And we never really have a script for it. And I
telling the
think,
people that
no, because I think that's what makes
we
it
look
unique.
like we do.
Be natural.
Right. The
Enjoy
fact
each other's
that we
company and
don't
just have a conversation.
make it all whatever.
Yeah.
It's not structured so
It was,
structured
though.
that
Yeah.
it's rigid. It used to be like that, and it didn't flow. I didn't. We couldn't Kim and I felt like we couldn't be ourselves. It's like, well, we got to stick to this script. We got to do this. I'm deviating. Get back on the script.
That's
and
not
then,
what you said you were going to
right.
say. So
And then,
Gone past 2 minutes.
Yes. And then, right. And then afterwards, I'd be like, oh, man, I'm drained. I mean, this is supposed to be fun.
Right,
you
right.
know, so once Kim and I did the Real Talk thing, and it was like, and the way we even came up with the name of the show, we were in our, we're not coming back on the show. We're not going to do any internet radio, whatever. We tried it. We're done. They quit. We're out. So that was the mentality. And so Ned and Jack and I, we would still just kind of touch bases like, I don't really know. I'm thinking about it. So I go to church one Sunday, and my pastor is preaching about, he says something to the effect of, are you done with that thing because you said you were done, or because God said you were done with it? And are you done with that relationship, that business venture, that whatever? So I'm like, he ain't talking to me, you know, so I'm going to keep rolling with what I got. And so Kim and I talked, and I was like, well, you know, we don't even really have a name. You know, our name is gone. We don't really have an identity, you know, and I just threw something out like, we'll just call it Real Talk or something crazy like that. And Kim is like, I love it. And I'm like, no, she's not. I threw it out so she can shoot it down so I can just come back and say, hey, look, we're not going to do this radio thing, you know.
Oh, wow.
But 2.5 years later,
y'all are still here.
We are still here off of something that I was like, no. I said, we'll just do, you know, like they have Frank and Wanda, and they have the Ryan Cameron show, or Ricky Smiley, or whatever.
It's a nice
so
style.
I just figured I'm going to throw it out. Kim is going to shoot it down. Hey, God, I tried, and I did my part, you know, trying to negotiate with God before I did it. And then Kim's like, great, let's roll with it, you know? And I'm like, well, we'll do Kimberly Anise and King Arthur because that's kind of a play on the initials. We got a K-A and a K-A.
Yeah.
And
it just worked.
It rolled together.
Yeah.
You said something really important, and really it just goes back to, if God is in it, there is no limit. If you have a limitless amount of possibilities of where you can go and grow from. Just the one show. What did you guys say? It spun off of another show.
Right.
Yeah. So that's just all around dope.
And we were just like, you know, Jack was like, no, you can do it because you know you can be serious and then you're crazy all over the place, and then Kim is serious so she can reel you back in. It's kind of like the yin and the yang. And you know, so I got done talking to Jack. I'm like, yeah, we can do it. You know, we can do it.
And you never know how you're making a difference with people. Because remember that guy that cried on the show and just being on the show? Because that has been my thing, like, since we've been doing it, where people are like, you know, can I come on the show? And Arthur and I like, sure. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because we know, most people have their shows booked out.
Yeah.
And Kim and I, and we kind of pride ourselves on the fact that if it's someone we need to schedule and we got to get it lined up with their schedule, that's fine. Okay. But we kind of, sometimes we'll go into Saturday night and not have a guest, and then it'll happen Sunday morning, and we'll kind of talk and say, okay, we know God is in this, because he's not ready for us to let it go or not do anything. Right. And someone will call and say, hey, when is your next show? Today? Oh, really? I'm free today. It's like, Kim, we just got a guest. I don't know. Wow. It's like an hour from showtime, and we just got a guest.
And this has been from people that are just starting up to people that have been in the music industry or just been an entrepreneur. Right. You know, from Bo Bell to Judge Teskey. Then we had those folks from I'm trying to think. The Doctors.
The Doctors. It was like a black.
The show The Doctors?
No. This was. They were talking about like how the first black doctors, like way back when, they have like a black doctor medical association. And although they used to practice, and it might have been late 1800s, early 1900s, but the blacks weren't even allowed to walk through the front door. So they still had to like come through the back, through like the kitchen, something crazy, and then go up. But these were the same doctors who were doing the surgeries, and people didn't know they were doing. And it was just like mind-blowing to even realize, like, wow.
We've had some good.
Then I told him, I'm going back to school, because I'll have an outburst. I'm going back to school. I'm going to be a doctor. Is it too late? He's like, no, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Kim is like, please do not cater to him. He is not serious. But I always lure people in with something crazy like that.
That's amazing.
It's been
Yes.
fun. It's
Yeah,
been real fun.
you guys can offer me some really great advice as a new talk show host.
Yes. So tell everyone, when is your show? When does your show
So
air?
the Speak Life show airs every first and third Thursday on live TV.
All
Live
right
TV,
here.
like us on live TV.
Yeah, we come on at 10 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
So if you're up, and it's similar to your show, we just try to have a good variety of guests to come on and share their story or information. They may have a product or service that they want to share or promote on the show. And what I love trying to do is balance out the entertainment piece. So from the open mic, hey, would you like to come and perform on the show? And they'll say yes or no, or I try to keep, let someone close us out with a nice.
That's a great
good
idea.
local
I
song.
like that.
So we have some good fun. We've talked about, oh my gosh, entrepreneurship, how to start a business. We talked obviously about domestic violence because the nonprofit sponsors the show.
Okay.
So we talk about that for a split second and then move into something else. And then just to bring it back to that, just a little bit about the domestic violence piece. A lot of people run away from, oh, you shouldn't talk about it, and why are you telling everyone your business? But it's not about that. It's really, for what we're doing, is trying to help everyone understand there is life on the other side.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to stay in that depressed state. You need to do whatever it is you can to get counseling. Number one, and so that you get your mind right, and you can do what you said earlier. It wasn't every dude. Every dude is not like that. It wasn't every woman, whoever that abuser was. Everyone is not like that.
Right. And
also,
in our community, we, not to cut you off, but in our community, we have this stigma attached to going to get counseling, going to get help, as if it's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. Yes, it is something wrong with you. That's why you need to go see someone. But we had Kemia Motley on the show.
I love Kemia.
And she talked about that and stressed that, she had me like all pop, like when I brought her, she came on the show, I guess a couple months ago, right before the election time. And I'm like, vote yes for Amendment 4 and Marcy's Law. And we're going to do this. I had no idea what it was and this was her second time on the show.
Okay.
So we brought her back and she talked about it. And I'm like, wow, the victims don't have rights? That would seem like a norm that they automatically would, but the fact that we had to fight and push and vote it in, and it finally passed, of course, but just the fact that we had to do that, and someone can commit a major domestic violence related crime and still be out to torment the family or to torment their victim while they're still dealing with it. It may even be a week later and they can continue to do that craziness and not be checked and just go unchecked.
Yeah.
And it's just really important because people will not report it.
Right.
So the statistic is every 1 in 4. Right?
That's reported.
That's reported cases. But there's so many people that remain silent and won't say anything. And some people don't realize, there are other forms of abuse outside just the physical. There's verbal abuse. There's financial abuse.
Right.
Let's talk about the financial pieces. Your finances are all tied up into one account, perhaps, or that person is. Anytime someone exerts control over you in any manner. That's what abuse is. But in this sense, they're exerting control over your finances.
That's interesting. I've never heard that.
So can you imagine a career professional woman having to ask for permission to
lost Kim already. Ask for permission. She's like,
you have to ask permission. You have to get an allowance when it's your money. Can you imagine that? Read the book.
Yes.
So I get like and I know, I know people who have been survivors and stuff, and it's hard for me, especially when you talk about sexual violence. As a woman, like my stomach turns because it's so, like, I feel it on so many levels. As a woman, and I know it happens with men too, but just the value that I have with what God has given me, and just the idea of somebody taking and knowing that has happened to other women, like, makes my stomach crawl. You know what I mean? Like, makes me, I get, I almost like sick about it because even though I was teasing about the stalker and stuff like that, but the reality of it is, I just know that's a hard piece to think about for anybody that's experienced that to move forward, and that's the mental health and all of those things come into play. So when I see someone like you, I'm just like, hats off, you're awesome, you're amazing, and you are doing it for a lot of other women. Yeah, because there's some women, those other 3 women who don't talk about it.
Who are embarrassed to say anything.
Or even scared.
I was about to say scared, because if he finds out, he's going to do more to me,
Yeah.
Something, one of the reasons I spoke out and, I pressed charges. It took me a long time to press charges because I was afraid. And I really didn't know what my options were.
Right.
I didn't know that I could do that and then I would have support.
Right.
I didn't know that there are advocates available 24/7 to help me get out of the situation safely. I didn't know any of this information. That's why my voice is so strong now.
Right.
Because I want to help whoever doesn't know that there is help. There are resources available for you to use them, because this is the state the state of Georgia will even pay for your medical bills.
Oh, wow.
So if you are in an abusive situation and you have received any type of emergency bill or medical bill due to some of the abuse that you've incurred, you can get help from the state of Georgia.
Wow.
Oh,
they
wow.
will that's financial assistance, and that's really important. People do not know this.
Right.
So that's why it's so important for us to get our voices out there. And for that sister, that brother that's experiencing it, you can call 1-800-799-SAFE. That's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Again, that's 1-800-799-SAFE. And we give you that number because they have advocates available 24/7, and they will help you get out of the situation safely. That's the key. You can call Pookie and them.
Yeah, because Pookie and them going to shoot it up. They're going to call me, and we're going to ride out. That's what we going to do. He did what to you, sis? Oh, we on the way.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Now, Pookie, now you got to go visit Pookie and them.
Yeah.
Because see, that took care of your problem permanently.
Gotta go see Pookie.
It's cool to have your family and friends available. So the next book, which will be out in the first quarter of 2019, is the workbook that accompanies this book.
Wow.
So it's a
Look at
workbook
you.
that kind of help you go through and get your life back in order.
Do it, Vin.
I like that.
Do it, girl.
Wow, that's really
it's a
good.
nice workbook. So it'll help you with your finances, because your stuff it's like a divorce.
Right.
In case
you
you're
got
probably
to
going through a divorce at that
recalibrate your
point.
thinking.
Right.
Like, you got to get back on track. And like
It
you
goes through
mentioned, the
everything.
financial control. I know so many women who were in abusive situations who did not leave because what I'm going to do with these kids, or I got to get an apartment. My credit's jacked up because I signed for this for him, or I'm overextended because my name is on all of this for him. So if I leave, how am I going to get an apartment? How am I going to afford it? Because he's the primary breadwinner.
Wow.
Or I'm not working at all because he just wants me to keep the house, but didn't know that was a form of control that the other person was using. So, but to know that there's an outlet and there are advocates, there are people who can help you safely get out, and you don't necessarily have to go to a shelter where most people think the shelter is a bad thing, because they affiliated with like homeless shelters and all of that other crazy stuff, but just not knowing and not wanting to ask, because you'll get that, hey, I'm asking for a friend. But if I wanted to ABC, how would I go about that?
Right.
So.
And so that's what that number is for, the National Domestic Violence Hotline number. That's what they do. They help you get placed. And there are other organizations like RISE. We have another friend. Her name is R.C. Marshall, also in the Atlanta area. RISE is another organization that's wanting to do and promote the same thing, helping and getting housing for women, educating us on what is abuse, are you abusing, how to bring you out of it, and help you understand all that. Shifted Masterpiece, as the nonprofit, helps on the back end of all that. After you've gone to counseling, after you've gotten into a stable living environment, you and your children, we then come in to offer you career and personal development support. So that's the bulk of our service. We don't offer emergency support, but I was trying to figure out where do I fit in this
Right.
industry.
Because
It's
you don't
an
want
industry.
to just be another emergency point of contact, but like
It's
you
a
said,
lot.
they're gonna have to have that, because you got to have an exit strategy, so to speak. You know,
Correct.
they can be there to keep coaching you along, but
Correct.
now let's get into the retraining. Now, what are you gonna do career wise?
Because of what you just said, people are in the situation because either they have no life skills. We want to come back in and give you the life skills that
Right.
you need
Right.
So you
in
can
order
survive.
to be successful, and you never feel like you ever have to go back into that.
I was about to say
situation.
that has to be a confidence builder in itself.
Yes.
When you're accustomed to just keeping house, and now you have a life skill set, and you get a job in that
Yes.
arena, and now you're working every day, and you're getting a
Yes.
check, and you're providing for your family, whereas you thought you had to depend on this person
Yes.
to do it all for you.
So I just had just thinking about this because I was talking with someone last night about this, how, and this connects to what you're talking about, how God will change your reality, but you have to accept that change in reality. So I'm just connecting the dots. I'm just thinking, and just in any situation, period. I think sometimes, could this be a reason why some people go back to certain situations? Although they may have all of these things, but they have not accepted this new reality for themselves. So it's like a mindset shift.
Like, I need him, I need her, I gotta be there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what level of toxicity you've experienced in a relationship, but there are different levels. Say this person is just a common narcissist, and that's just what they do. We are narcissists in our families. So I think that was Gabrielle Union that I watched today on one of Oprah's live feeds on today, and one of the things that she said, that her parents gave her everything. They gave her, told her she was smart, told her everything, told her she could do and be anything she wanted to be in this world. But the one thing that they did not tell her was that she was pretty.
Wow.
So in turn, she went out seeking for
that
that person.
approval.
That the first person that tells you that you're pretty, you melt.
Yeah.
You absolutely melt, and everything just starts to come off, and you're just so excited because you're consumed by the fact that someone thinks that you're attractive. Or someone thinks that you're great other than what your parents have shared with you.
Right.
So it's so important for us to go back, like if we ever want to talk about prevention, we start young, right? And try to train our boys into understanding, no, you don't hit girls. However, you don't want to be a victim of getting hit either. Always share,
and try
talk,
to find that
share
balance.
that. We keep saying, oh, we don't talk about that. No, we need to talk about that.
Right.
That's something in our community. We always sweeping things under the rug, and we don't want to talk about stuff.
You
We
tell
don't want to talk about
nobody
stuff
he
at
hit
church.
you. He loves you.
You know,
Right.
it's just a silent game. But the more we communicate, the more we verbalize all the things that we've experienced in life, the more people will feel comfortable about coming out and being open. And that deadly secret, that's the description here. It was a deadly secret.
Yes.
A deadly secret. So imagine life had I not said anything to anyone.
Right.
I would be dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Or my abuser would be dead.
Right.
One of us was going to go.
And now you have to prove that you've gone through years of abuse that led up to kind of that straw breaking the camel's back, so to speak, and it's like, I snapped. Nah, well, he didn't really. Was it really this bad? You trained me not to say anything in our community, and now, well, no, it's not that bad. I can't believe she did that. So now more violence, so to speak, more mental torture and anguish, because now I have to prove myself to my family, to my community, as well as the court systems to justify why I did this. But I've been crying out for help for all of this time.
I don't know if you guys remember years ago, maybe 20 years, over 20 years ago now, Robin Givens and Mike Tyson. We victimized her.
Yep.
We tormented her.
Right.
We don't know the truth. We weren't there, but we tormented that woman.
Right.
We said, no, it was Mike. Why would he need to do all of that?
Right.
It's Mike Tyson. Why?
Right.
But because of who he is. And then you fast forward to today with Bill Cosby. We're not there.
Yeah.
And with this Me Too movement, and
Right.
with all the things, people wanting to come forward and share their story, we weren't there.
Exactly.
But what we cannot do and what we cannot allow is to victimize the person that said that they experienced it. There are 3 sides to every story.
Exactly.
Yes, it is. I was going to say that, and because I got 3 things to add. It's only going to take me 120 seconds. That's it. I promise.
You know, I went to Atlanta Public School. What
I was going to say, now do that math. Y'all time me. This 30 seconds right here. So I think about the education of our children, boys and girls. And I say this all the time to my son. I'm looking at Cameron when I say this. Because, I care about grades. All of that's awesome. But he may be a C student in the classroom, but he will be an A student in life.
Amen.
And when you think about the things we're talking about right here, along with teaching, because along with teaching our children, to be successful in class and get your grades, your learning, that whole piece of understanding relationships, understanding resilience, those are some of those character traits that you got to start them young to get them ready. The whole piece, because like you said, it's 2 sides. So this is my 2-side piece. You got this side, that side, you got the truth.
Yes.
So just as we're teaching our young ladies about self-awareness, protection, and all of that, you also going to teach your young man, you don't put your hands on anybody, but you also got to teach your young men too in this day and age to be mindful who you're with, why you're with, because and how you move with women. What are you sending on text message? You know what I mean? What are you saying? Because nowadays you have to be very mindful of that with your young boys too. Because it's I guess I get passionate because I have a 16-year-old. And the other thing,
you need to have that passion behind him. You have a 16-year-old black son.
Yes.
So you need to have that passion unapologetically.
Yes. So I think about it. No, you will never put your hands on a woman, but you will also be mindful about situations and environments that you put yourself in to not even go there. So you will never be accused. It would none of those things will happen. You have to think forward in today's day and age. And the other thing I was going to say is actually funny, but that whole thing you just said about somebody, either it's going to be you or me. Remember that you just said that. So I'm in the Fayette. Let me not say where I was.
Yeah, don't say it.
I was in the.
I'm
not gonna say I was.
I was in the U.S.
I went to the bathroom in a public library. This is a true story. It was early. I walked to the last stall. Nobody in there. I went to use the bathroom, and I come out, and it's this dude in the bathroom. Right? It is him and I.
Okay, so for clarification purposes, was it the family unit?
No, it was not. It was the woman.
Yeah, the lady
bathroom.
with the skirt on the
the
picture.
men's restroom by accident.
I double checked myself when I went in there.
You had to be like, what?
Oh, wow. So what was going on?
So he passed all the stalls to where I was, washed my hands at the end. So now, I was born in Maryland. I was going to put that out there. I know Ben and Rose, Southeast DC. I'll just let you know. Mambo juice, shrimp boat.
Yeah.
Okay, those some of my roots. Okay, so I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're doing in here, but somebody gonna leave, right? So he says, and I quote, "Oh, I thought this was the men's bathroom. No,
I see urinals.
this is the ladies. You confused." Oh yeah, he's still coming.
Still in there having the conversation.
So I said, dude, this is the ladies' stall. I had to go there.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, homeboy, I'm coming up out of here.
Right.
One of us gonna come out, and
And
it's gonna be me.
I'm walking up out of here. I don't know how you getting out, but I'm walking up out of here.
It turned mental health challenges.
Wow.
Cause I could have been a victim.
Yes.
Right.
And he was going around the library exposing himself. His private part
My God.
Wow.
had a slit in his pants.
Wow.
Cut a slit out.
Wow.
God.
Wow.
So I saw him like an hour later being escorted out of the public
My
library.
goodness.
He was exposing himself to women in the library.
Wow.
He had came in the bathroom to show me his private part or whatever.
Right.
But I think I startled him because my first response wasn't like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
It was like,
it wasn't like a
I
shy,
can't say that
timid.
word on it. I was like,
You PG County.
I'm like, what?
Like, come on in here, buddy. This is what you came in here for. I got something for
I went to
you.
Morgan State, Baltimore. Okay. Yeah, I was like, what in the world? Okay, so I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
at some point, my story is hilarious because nothing happened.
Right.
But I get it. When you're in those kinds of situations, where
Fight
it's
or
like,
flight,
okay,
right.
Yeah, flight
Right.
or fight.
Right.
Yeah.
And you
Somebody
have
gonna
to
go.
be, especially in today's, and not trying to turn it into anything political because of our professions. However, the current political climate and our current political leader has given the impression that whether it's our Supreme Court justice who we confirmed or anybody who's on my side, it is acceptable to do this because I was recorded on a bus saying what I do and how it is acceptable to do it and you get away with it. But, you know, we kind of shun away from that. But even in the Bill Cosby thing, like you said, none of us was there. Neither one of us know what happened there. However, my only problem is the disparity of treatment. If Harvey Weinstein is out,
Yeah.
then Bill Cosby should be out. That's just
Yeah.
me.
Just to be fair.
And you have all of these, the head of CBS and all of that. So when Kim speaks with the passion of having a 16-year-old
Yeah.
young black male, all it takes is an accusation from the wrong person to
That's
find
what I was-
yourself in a
that's-
situation that changes your life drastically.
That's it. Did you hear what I didn't say?
Yeah.
Because I didn't say that, but that's what I was trying
I'm
to
with
say.
you.
Okay.
I'm definitely with you. And it just depends on who you go before or how that whole thing lines up as to whether or not
Okay.
that is something that it's like, oh, well, we believe you, you know,
Yeah.
you're good. Or nope, black male, hey,
Give him the
get
book.
in there with everybody else. You just
Yeah.
another statistic, you know.
Yeah. You know, I was going to ask you guys what your thoughts were. I don't know if you have time for this question, but
We
what
have
were your thoughts
5 minutes.
regarding? Okay.
Yes, we do.
Overtime.
5 minutes.
Yeah. So that person that falsely accuses someone of a horrific crime,
Right.
any crime, what do you think should happen to that person that accuses to the accuser?
When they make
And
an
it's not
accusation
true.
and it's not true,
It's a false accusation.
I think they should be held accountable.
How?
That's
And how do we like start a movement? Because
because you can't, right.
Financially. Hit 'em in the pocket.
Oh boy, you would wear them jokers out.
And be prepared to be sued.
Exactly.
And payment to the person.
What do you
Yeah.
call it? Defamation of
Yeah,
character?
defamation.
Oh.
Defamation of
Oh.
character.
Because once that accusation goes out there, I mean, it's like for the accused, especially if it wasn't true, but for the accused, it's a wrap. They have legal fees. They have everything else. If it's an athlete or a celebrity, they lose endorsements because
Yeah.
no one wants to be associated with that stigma. So they're immediately, you're done. You've lost everything. So, but I think that would be a show all in itself.
That's another show.
That is a good show. And even bringing a panel. Like
Right.
young boys, older men,
Right.
and to talk about the different perspectives that you have now. Because, you know, they got that sex team. You can get in trouble with that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
At-
you got to be,
in elementary school.
Yep.
woo.
Yes.
It's some serious,
It's a lot.
you really, I'm telling you, that's why I'm a praying woman. I live
gotta
in my
stay prayed
closet.
up.
Oh,
Right.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my
gotta
gosh. I'm
stay
surprised I
prayed
ain't got scabs on my knees praying so hard.
Praying.
Oh, my gosh. I got to pray.
So before we get out, tell everyone, you've already told them your showtime.
Yes.
How can we get a copy of the book?
Okay, so to get a copy of the book is really, really simple. You follow me on all platforms under SpeakLife.
Like.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm on all of them under SpeakLife. It's spelled up there. And also for the book, to purchase the book, you can go to
That's a gorgeous picture of you.
www.shiftedmasterpiece.org.
Oh.
Thank you.
Zoom in to the back of the book. Got the picture back there.
www.shiftedmasterpiece.org for more information about the nonprofit. And for the book, you will go to www.vspeaklife.com. That's vspeaklife.com. And you'll find everything. You'll find everything about our workshops. We have a free workshop, you guys. So we talked a little earlier about becoming free and having how to do that if you're stuck in life. We have a free workshop for you to come and attend. I lead that workshop for you, and all the information is right there. So just click the links. On Instagram, just use the link tree. It's right there for you. vspeaklife.com. That's vspeaklife.com. And thank you so much. You can reach out to me at 678-7. I'm lying. I don't know the number, so I can give it.
But she is tagged in this Facebook Live, so if you need to reach out to her, click on her name, send her a message. There is no question that's too crazy to ask her, especially if you find yourself in a domestic violence situation. You need to talk to someone. Stop thinking you can handle it yourself, because you can't.
Yeah.
She's pretty amazing.
Oh, bless you guys. And thank you so much for this wonderful show.
Thank you for coming.
I was happy to be here. You guys are amazing guests.
Love it.
Allowing me to be your special co-host on today. Never part. I'll have you on the Speak Life show whenever you're ready. Just come on in.
Okay.
I saw that in a movie once. I think that's like Color Purple or something.
Is that?
That's why the book is purple.
Okay.
This was amazing.
So with that being the case, again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Real Talk Show. I almost said the Real Speak Life Show, but the Real Talk Show with King Arthur
and Kimberly and Niece.
And our awesome guest.
Thank you. Peace and blessings, family.
See ya next time.